last scheduled meeting for, what year is this, 2018, I guess. Yeah. Appreciate you being here. You braved the cold. You got out. There ought to be something said for you just for that. And if you would, any electronic devices, please hush those things. And that's about the biggest part of the drill. And we'll get underway here. If you would, please rise with us for our information. If we would, I'd just ask you to bow with me. Lord, we just come to you at this time, thanking you so much for this special time of the year, Lord. And we just ask you to help us to do that, although it sounds so trite, our part to keep Christ in Christmas. And Lord, we just ask you to be here in our midst today. Lead, guide, and direct. Lord, even give us the assurance of our convictions as we go about doing that you would have us to do here from Meriwether County. And as always, Lord, we just ask you to forgive us where we fail you. In Christ Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Commissioners, we have our agenda here before us. And when we get down to new business, my understanding is the workers' compensation agreement will have to be tabled. Is that correct, Mr. Bill?
Yes.
Okay. You have the agenda in front of you. With that being mentioned, do I hear a motion we adopt? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So passes. You have both minutes from our work session and minutes from our regular meetings there on the 27th day of November. And you've had an opportunity to scan those, I am sure. And having done so, do I hear a motion we accept those as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion of those minutes at all? All in favor? So accepted. My municipal comments, as I look out there, Miss Charlene, I know you're out of place here. I don't quite know why you're over this far. We'll ask you.
Because I got her seat.
Yeah, they took my spot. I would just like to say, all of the commissioners and everybody here have a Merry Christmas, a happy and safe New Year. And I want to thank the commissioners and Meriwether County for the assistance you all have given the city of Greenville this year. I hope that the relationship will continue. I invite all of you to our parade tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. There's been a lot of misunderstanding that Greenville has a separate parade. That's really not true. This is the city parade and the other one is the county parade. So come out, enjoy. We will not have what the county had, what Ms. Brady put on. Please don't look for that. Come out and be a part of our parade anyway. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Miss Charlene. Now, Miss Ginger, Mayor Ginger of Luthersville, there you are.
There you go. Yes, I had a few meetings. But anyway, I want to ditto what Charlotte said. Thank y'all all for all that you do for this county. I think until people actually sit in one of these seats and working for the county, you don't understand how much there is to do, but what a difference the commitment of y'all make to this county and to all the cities. And I want to say a special thanks to Tyrell's department for assisting me time and time again for various things that the city needs. Together, we just make a lot better group. Thank y'all. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Does that cover my municipalities? Is anybody else out there? I don't see anybody. Okay, moving right along to constitutional officers, and I think they're about like hen's teeth too, aren't they? I don't see any out there. Okay. Department head comments. Skipper, I see you back there.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Brent?
Yeah, I've been out for a while, so I got time to make up, right? I'd just like to say, for those of you who know, I was out sick for a little while, one commissioner and gentleman really went out of their way to help me transition from hospital care over to rehab. And for those of you that sent prayers and thank you and came to visit me, I'd just like to say thank you. Ms. Beverly was really good and still is continuing on to try to sort out now all the paperwork's coming in. But I would just like to say thank you. Everything seemed to work as it should. It's my first time ever being on that side of the clipboard, so to speak. And just FYI, I'm a terrible patient. We can guarantee the facility that I was in can guarantee that. But I would just like to say thank you very much for your support and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Glad you're back.
Sean?
I just want to say we're staying busy at shelter as always. We've got several going out on transport tonight. Our goal is to be empty for Christmas. We've got lots of puppies down there right now, so if anybody needs a puppy at home, or a big dog, come on and see us. We've got a few cats too. Come on down and see us and take an animal home for Christmas.
Thank you, Sean. Tyrell?
For the next 15 years.
Just Merry Christmas, everyone. It's 2018 and 2019.
Very good. Mr. Bill, do you have anything for us this morning?
No, sir. Staying busy with the fire station.
Okay. While I'm working this side, Ron, you will be up for public comments or public hearings, so let me move over this way. Miss Jane, I got you back there.
I just want to say thank you for all of your help this year.
Thank you. Is that everybody? I believe it is. Okay, we have a need for a public hearing. Mr. Ron, if you want to work your way on up to the front, we'll go ahead and open up here with case number 13. Do I hear a motion we go into public hearing? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Mr. Ron, you want to give us some words of wisdom here?
Okay, case number 13 is a carryover from 2 or 3 meetings back from Miss Lillian Hightower,
Right.
and I don't think she's here.
Yeah, there she is. There she is.
There she is.
Behind you.
She was behind you.
Yeah, that's right. We have disposed of her case. She has sent me a written request to remove her application from further consideration. And I think she wants to talk to the board about refunding her application fee.
Okay, Ms. Lillian, you have comment here. We're in public comment.
Yes, thought I was complying with Meriwether County to pay for rezoning. So I did that. But then I didn't understand really what was going on. So now that I know what's going on, we don't need to rezone. So I'd like my money back. So, I'm asking you if you would please refund my money.
What was the amount?
$400.
$400.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and Ms. Hightower and I have talked, and, we want to help any way we can, but, we have like real cost involved, and we had advertisement, we had, board zoning appeals that came in, they have to be compensated a small amount. It's been before the board about 3 times, and, so when you consider this, understand we have some real cost that's out there. Now, I think we did have a slight overcharge that we, made based on the number of acres, and I would say that was about $50. I think we could, easily, correct that, but considering the fact that this was before the board, and this I think is the 4th time, and staff hasn't spent time on it. We did have paid, advertisements. I think we had signage we had to place out. So, it's one of those things I'd hate to see the board set a precedent if someone comes in for zoning and say they, Ms. Hightower's situation's a little different, But if, for example, they got denied and then say, well, I didn't get my zone, I want to get my dollars back. But we've already spent monies on that. Susan, is that?
I'm in agreement, yes, I agree with that. It's the application process. The research should have been done ahead of time, I think, to avoid what occurred.
What was our total cost of that?
It probably exceeded $350 that we actually had, considering that we didn't do it just one time. We had it, or this is the fourth, I think this is the fourth time it's been before this board. Of course, it got delayed for reasons too. We had to try to figure out what was best, but I would say we have probably very close to that. You had signs and all.
It signs out, it was published in the newspaper, and also the planning commission members are paid a fee for every time they come to a meeting.
How many times was this before meeting?
Twice.
Twice. And out of fairness, I would recommend that we refund the dollars that we overcharged, but I would just, caution the board on setting a precedent going forward.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I was with my aunt when we...
What's wrong?
Well, I'm sorry, give me your name, please.
My name is Deborah Dunn Jones.
Okay,
I'm her niece.
okay.
But I was with my aunts when we came down and asked information about zoning and what we needed to do to sell some of the property. And we were misinformed clearly. They told us that we had to rezone the property as agricultural, as residential, because it was set up as agricultural. But in order to sell it, we would have to rezone to residential. That's what the county told us. I was with my aunt when we first started, before we even came to a zone meeting or anything. So,
And I think that was correct based upon what they were requesting, because originally they were going to take 2 acres out. I think when we got to one of the hearings, I think we raised the issue of, hey, this is under conservation use, and you need to be careful. And that's where the problem started. So had the 2 acres been rezoned, and the sale as they were intending, I know they didn't understand, but if they had sold the remaining tract, they would have caused a coup of grease. It would have been thousands of dollars. So for what they were requesting, that was the accurate information. Brought it back correct at that point.
That's right. We did not know when she came in for application of the property and conservation. That normally is something that we don't investigate. Property owner should know whether it's in conservation or not. And I learned later after one public hearing that they intended to sell the property they wanted to sell to a church group to establish a church program there on that property. And it turns out that that kind of use would breach the conservation also.
Even if they sold the entire tract. That's right.
But the part that we were going to keep, what I didn't, the part that we were going to keep didn't need rezone.
That part wasn't going to be rezoned, wasn't it? They were going to keep.
Still under agriculture.
It would created a, yep, it would have created a 2-acre parcel in an RD zone. And that was the problem, so it would have needed that. Now, had she kept all the property in her name, she could simply have set aside that 2 acres as part of the overall tract, and she would not have had to rezone it, but it would have been exempted from the conservation use. But when you start to sell the balance of that property, and that was all she was going to keep, she would have had to have had it rezoned to the RD class.
RD, right.
Okay. Is, Ms. Lee, you can sit back down if you'd like. Is there anybody else that might have comment on this? I would like to, while we're still in public hearing, Ms. Susan, is this pretty much flowing down the legal lines like we should?
It is, and I agree with Darren in the fact that, as this board is always very mindful of the precedent that is being set for decisions. And in the long run, actually, the advice that was given did ultimately save them thousands of dollars in a breach.
And we'll be happy, the board's concurrence, just to work with them to, refund the dollars that we truly overcharged. And refund that to them right away, but, we do need to recuperate at least our normal portion of costs.
If there's nobody else that's going to speak, then I think we need to come out of public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? We're now out of public hearing, and we have this matter before us. And obviously, the request is being withdrawn, and the question then comes up, what do we do? I think if there is money owed, we need to pay it.
What I would recommend is that you accept the letter of withdrawal.
Accept letter of withdrawal.
And ask staff to correct the fee to the proper amount.
I'll make that as a motion.
You made it a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Any further?
Before we do, I do want to say this,
Go
and
ahead,
I
Tom.
understand that we may set a quote-unquote precedent, but I do think that each situation is individual. And from sitting in the initial meeting, and Ms. Hightower coming and speaking to us there, and it was actually Greenville High School when she first came, I felt that there was a huge misunderstanding in the entire process. And to not set a precedent, because again, I do think that we need to look at each one individually. I want to make a motion that we refund her entire amount.
Okay, now, we've got a motion and a second on the table. Are you wishing to amend the motion to say you'd like to see her get the entire amount?
You can go ahead with the motion for what Beth made the motion.
Okay.
My motion is that we refund the entire amount, and I think that we have to look at these on an individual basis.
All right, well then, the first motion is out here on the table with a second. What's your, I'd like to see a hand vote on that. All in favor of that? So carries. Okay, at this time, Commissioner Threadgill's made a motion to give back the entire refund. Is there a second? Motion. Motion dies from lack of second.
I'll make a comment, and I understand what you're saying, but we did, if this thing had gone through that night, they would have owed thousands of dollars, and I think it was because of our actions that night that saved that from happening. Because I think, they're not the only ones that may make an application, and maybe they don't quite understand or whatever, and I think that probably happens more often than we realize, but like I said, we do still have lots of costs involved in it, and the bottom line is they saved thousands of dollars by that thing not happening that night.
And I understand that, but I think you withdrew your application process after that initial meeting. It came to, and you realized and more educated on exactly what was happening. So that's why I felt that we needed to do this. So.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, at this time, we need to move on to case number 19. Do I hear a motion to go in public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Mr. Ron, you have the floor.
Okay, case number 19, and Skip will get the map up on the screen.
Excuse me. Can I say something before we go to the...
No, ma'am, if you would, save it to the end, if you don't mind, because I need to move on for the courtesy of these other folks too.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Okay, this is, case number 19. It comes from Ms. Carolyn Cruz. She owns 9.44 acres in the LDR zone district, which requires 5 acres minimum lot. The property located at 1140 Garner Road. Ms. Cruz is requesting a rezoning approval to rezone 2 acres of her property from LDR to RD, which is the minimum lot size of 2 acres, for the purpose of building a single-family residence for a mother. The property will be landlocked, which will require a 30-foot wide access easement to the 2-acre lot. This request complies with the comprehensive plan and the character area map. My recommendation that it be approved, and also recommendation of the planning commission.
Commissioner, my only other comment on that would be that you guys require that easement to be a perpetual easement. That way there's no chance of any discussion of access or whatever in the future.
Her 2-acre lot
Right.
is proposed to be right here, in this corner right here. So she got road frontage up here, and access to easement will be along this existing driveway to give professional access to that 2-acre lot.
She already has that easement.
Now, she already has a driveway there.
Oh,
There will not be an easement. set
she'd be
aside.
granting the easement to the 2 acres.
That's right.
Okay.
So that will, some future sale will want to affect access to that 2-acre lot.
Oh, Miss Carolyn Cruz, I think you're back there. Would you like to, I understand about your foot, would you like to make a comment from there?
Just that my mother is 75 years old and I also have a 95-year-old grandmother. And they will both be living in the small house and I just need, they live in Forest Park currently and it's difficult for me to drive up there to do for them. So if I had them on my property, it would just be so much more helpful for them as well as me.
Okay, and you understand when we rezone this, you've got to put that permanent 30-foot easement there.
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, will I be able to put, like she wants to just do a mobile home, is that something we can do?
No, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
What you do with it, once it's rezoned, just go through Mr. Ron's office.
okay,
We're requiring minimum size.
yes. 1,250 square feet?
Right.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Okay, is anybody else that wishes to make comment on this particular property? All right, Commissioners, I hear a motion, we go out of public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? I believe this one falls in my district directly. I have no heartburn whatsoever with this. I move we rezone.
I'll second.
Any comments? Discussion? All in favor? So carries. Case number 20 appears to be next on our list. Do I hear a motion we go in public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Okay, case number 20 comes from Elizabeth Clemens Sampson. She owns 12 acres in the RR zoning district, which that zone district requires 10 acres. And it's located at 1688 Montgomery Road, basically at the intersection of Montgomery Road and Trammell Bottom Road. Ms. Clemens Sampson is requesting a rezone approval to rezone 2 acres of her property from RR to RD for the purpose of deeding 2 acres to her niece to place a double-wide manufactured home on the property. This request complies with the comprehensive plan and the area map, and it's my recommendation that it be approved, and it's also the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Okay, is Miss Elizabeth Clemens Sampson with us today?
She is here with the fans in my name, and I've been telling you because she lives out of town in Ray Cross, moving back.
Okay, so the property's actually in your name?
It's in both of our names.
Oh, it's in both your names? Okay.
Yes.
And what is your name for the record?
Gloria Clemens.
Gloria, that's right. Should have recognized you. You're right, that. Okay, Miss Gloria, have you got further comments to make?
I don't, as long as you.
Anybody else have a comment? We're still in public hearing? Okay, if there is none, Mr. Ron?
I guess they're still the same square footage
Same square foot.
minimum for it.
She intends to create that 2-acre lot right here.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Mr. Ron?
That's all I have.
Commissioners, do I hear a motion we go out of public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? We're out of public hearing at this time. This looks like this falls in District 2. I wonder who's in District 2?
I recommend that we grant the request.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? You don't have any further comments, sir, Miss Gloria? All right, no problem. Okay, next thing on our agenda is the application for an alcoholic beverage license. Now, I assume we need to go back into public hearing. Do I hear a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Ron, we're in public hearing for the application on the alcohol beverage license.
Okay, we have an alcoholic beverage license application from Mr. Buddy L. Crook and Amanda Crook. They got the proper rezone back a month ago for the purpose of restarting up a little country store that's been there for years and years. So they got the business license for the little convenience store, and now they want an alcohol license to be able to sell beer there. And been through the background check, no problem there. All the fees, investigation fees, and sign posting fees, and all those things have been paid. And if they approve, they'll have to come to my office to pay the alcohol fee.
And we're going to do that today and pick up the license, right?
Right.
Okay, and we have both Amanda and Buddy. Yeah, kind of hard to read right there.
Yeah, he likes lunch.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, we'll hear from you.
Yeah, I'm Amanda, so.
Yes.
I'm the one that she's like, yay. We are, have had lots of input from the community. Most of people walk in and say, where do you get beer? So, I haven't heard any bad comments or any negative comments, so they may be a good thing for the area.
Is there further comment from the audience?
Not from the audience, but this is in my district.
Okay.
To my knowledge, there's absolutely no opposition.
No opposition.
To it whatsoever.
Sounds like we need to go out of public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? We're out of public hearing, and Miss Beth, I think you're wanting to say a few words here.
Can I just make a motion that we approve the application?
I'll second.
Any further discussion of the application? All in favor? So passes. Thank you, Mr. Ron.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Before Ron leaves, I just want to mention something. Ron is decided he was going to be retiring at the end of this year, and he's still going to be willing to come back and help us get through some things. I think Susan's already lined him up with some stuff already, but we're getting together, I know, later in the week to honor him, but I just wanted to say how much we appreciate what you've done for Meriwether County. Great service you've done. I think it's been 21 years, and I would say we're going to miss you, but we're going to be seeing you a lot. So anyway, but I just wanted to recognize him and say how much we appreciate what you've done.
Ron, as we always say in the veterans ranks, we appreciate your service, sir.
I enjoyed my time here. Spent 30 years with the state of Georgia. Spent 21 and a half years here with Meriwether County. And in that time, I spent 12 years as mayor, so I'm sick and tired of public dealing.
It's time to enjoy something.
We're not going to let him get too far, okay?
Don't worry, Ron, I won't go back.
I believe that was well said. Under Roman numeral 8, unfinished business. Oh, I got to use the gavel for a second. The first item here is discussion of moratorium on applications for road closures. Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd hope to have you guys a written up procedure and policy on this. Yesterday didn't work out exactly like I planned, but I did finish it last night about 10:30. So if it's all right with the board, I'll be glad to go over that. Right now, what you have is a moratorium for application of road closures. That moratorium extends through December 31st. Since this is our last meeting of the year, we needed to either ask you guys to consider extending that or letting the moratorium expire, or whatever the board desires to do. I did look and review last night, and I got some suggestions. I don't have it into a formalized document yet, but I did want to take a little time to talk about the road abandonment. And of course, there's a difference in road abandonment and road closure. We recently closed a road, but it's only temporarily to prevent some damages happening to the road. And we'll open that back up, and it'll still be a county road. Abandonment is where you determine whether or not the road ceased to serve a public purpose, or whether or not it's in the best interest of the county to close this. This is all outlined in Title 32, Chapter 7, -2 of the Road Abandonment Procedure, the Codes of Georgia. And it reads, when it's determined that a section of a county road for any reason ceases to be used by the public to the extent that no substantial public purpose is served by it, or that is required of the county road system, is otherwise in the best public interest of the county by certification recorded in the minutes, accompanied by a plat or sketch, notice to the property owners located thereon, and notice published in the paper for 2 weeks, and a public hearing, the county can actually declare that section abandoned. And that's the law we've been going by. One thing that we haven't been able to put forth up to this point is some factors to consider in the closure of the road. And I've got a few things that I just wanted to suggest that we consider, and we can put those into a formal document. First of all, we need to follow the state law on this. We also need to make sure, in my opinion, that all property owners agree on the closure, where we don't have any disagreements amongst them. We also need to determine whether the right-of-way is a deeded right-of-way or prescriptive right-of-way, because that makes a world of difference in how you abandon that. If it's indeed deeded, then we can't give away real property that we own. We at that point would have to establish a value, declare it surplus, open bids, and more than likely the adjoining property owners would be the only ones interested in it. But, if someone else wanted a 20-foot strip of road down through the middle of something, they could bid on it too. But I think we would need to establish a minimum value of that. If it is prescriptive right-of-way, which is the 99% of what we're talking about, we really don't have any title to that. The only thing we have is a right of use, and that right of use has come through years of using, or a trail turned into a road or whatever. The property in those cases is owned by the adjoining property owner. Their property line comes generally to the middle of the road, and in that scenario, we simply quitclaim deed our interest, which is ingress and egress only, over to the person who wants the road, or if the road. We start looking at it, I think we have to very strongly concern ourselves with, does it serve a public purpose? Another thing that just from a pure safety standpoint and emergency standpoint is, does the closure of the road limit or create a situation where there's only one means of ingress and egress to anybody except for the requested property owner? If I live at the back of the road and I want to close it, it's my only road out, then that's my issue. But if my neighbor lives beyond that and he uses the road, and that's the only way he's got to get out, or he's only got one way out and this prevents him from having a second way out, I think that needs to be very strongly considered as to a reason maybe to keep the road open. Because I've seen more than once a situation where it would have been great to have a second entrance. You and I saw that here about 4 years ago. Here it is, 4 years ago. But it would have been nice. We were put in a situation we had to create an emergency exit, where if they'd had a secondary exit, could have been resolved. Another thing that I think that needs to be considered on this is we need to have the requested party be responsible for all the needed legal work. They need to create the deeds. They need to provide us with any plats as necessary. Most time drawing of the road is sufficient if we have prescriptive right-of-way, but if it is, other right-of-way, we may need to have, if there's plats we need to have them cover that cost. And also, cost of advertisement for the abandoned, because as we talked earlier, we have a cost every time you run an ad in the paper, you have to run this for 2 weeks. So I would say that when we start considering that, that we add those costs in and have the applicant take care of those. Now, if it's something the county is requesting, in any particular situation, we would be responsible for it. But if someone comes in and says, hey, I want to do this, I think we need to have them be responsible for the cost. Another thing that I think is very important is once abandoned, they need to clearly understand that this road shall not be reopened at some point or accepted into the county road system unless they upgrade it to the Meriwether County road system standards as of that date and time. Not today, but if it's 5 years from now, 5 years from now. Ron and I have talked about upgrading the standards here with a higher paving criteria and bonding. And so if you have a road, and I would want the current owner to say, well, yeah, I want the road, and then sell the property. The next owner would come back and say, well, I'm tired of maintaining this, I just want to give it back to the county. So we don't need to do that unless he's willing to go in and bring that road up to county standards. And that will probably be a minimum of 60 feet of right-of-way, would include paving and, certain paving criteria. So the property owner needs to look at that as well and understand once I abandon this, it's abandoned. And it cannot be brought in until it meets our standards. So there may be some other things that we want to consider, but those were some of the things that I thought needed to be considered as we go forward. And the issue before you guys today as to whether or not you want to extend the moratorium, whether or not you want to allow the moratorium to just expire. I would say that I can work with Susan, and we can have this criteria drawn up. I can have it typed up tomorrow and get it out to everybody. And there may be some other things that we need to consider, but those are some of the criteria that I think, as we reestablish our policy on this, that we need to consider.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What about if we extend the moratorium just to the end of January to give us time to get this written up and look over, see if there's anything that needs to be added?
Okay,
Instead of rushing to get it done. I mean, I don't think one more month is gonna make that much of a difference, just so we're not rushed getting that together.
I think that
I mean, the suggestions you made sound,
Yeah.
like what they need to be.
And you just add that to the application, right?
yes, we'll just add that as an application, and then, I mean, we gotta follow the state law, but that'd be criteria that you guys can use when you look at it. And when we look at
That'd
it
be
from a
helpful.
staff standpoint to review it, we'll say, we're gonna do these questions, and we'll have a yes or no. Does it create a, isolated part? Yes, it does. Or, things such as that. And then
Well, it
before
keeps
we
it
ever
from being
get,
just such a judgment call,
Right.
It gives us something to go by, either it meets or it doesn't.
that's right.
And Commissioner Hines was concerned about future buyers. I like the quitclaim idea because it would be in the title search.
Yes, yeah. And it would relinquish our rights. Now, if it were deeded right away, we would give a warranty deed on that.
Right.
But the other would just simply be a quitclaim deed.
And the reason I asked her that is from previous things that had happened where there was not a title search. We've experienced that in the county as well. So once again, there needs to be some clarity in that discussion. I agree that we need to extend the moratorium and add on those other things. There are some other things that I too want to present to the board that's not in what you presented. Because I heard what you said about the difference in an abandonment and a road closure. So the way I heard you express it, an abandonment of a road is more likely done by the county. Or as an individual come in and say, I want this road abandoned. And then it wind up being closed.
You can do it, there's a difference in the actual closure.
Right, that's what I'm
We
saying.
can
that
go down,
clarity there.
you guys could go today and close Gay Cadet, okay,
Okay.
and close it. You guys have the right to do that. Didn't mean you abandoned, and then you're gonna open it back up.
Okay.
So while it's closed temporarily for a matter, it's not abandoned. And, you know, we have a road right now that we put some
Down in
gates
my
up.
district, we had to put up some
And
gates.
we had to put up a second set of gates. And I don't think anyone's going to tear these down. But what we'll do with that, our intention is not to abandon the road. We're going to keep
So
it up,
abandoning,
maintain.
it is totally no longer the responsibility of the county.
It comes off the county
County.
road system.
I just say it comes off of our LMIG.
And it also comes off our LMIG. So when we're looking at state dollars, then that takes away from that.
It does. I will only say this, the dollars that it takes away, if you have a problematic road or a road that's not being used, you're going to spend more money on it, maintaining it, than you could ever get back from your LMIG.
That's understandable.
But
It's one of the situations that need looked at. I mean, because it may be a case where it makes more sense to
A lot
close
of
it.
these dirt roads, the amount of gravel that you have to maintain and the grading of it is probably 4 or 5 times in excess any amount that you would get in a
LMIG, that's right.
The other thing, and not to cut you off, the other thing that I'm most concerned about, because there have been several roads closed in my district, and one of the things that we are now experiencing is not having accessibility to ways out. And so I have a particular road right now in my district, because of the weather and the way that it's been raining so much, it's leaving people with one major way to get out. And, you know, we never know what can happen, but I think we have to be considerate of how people are able, for public safety, to be able to get in and out of their community.
Absolutely.
So,
Never a good idea to have one way in and one way out, if you can avoid it. So we can finish that. We would even finish it if we had another meeting. This is our last meeting of the regular meeting of the year. But we can have that ready first meeting in January without any problem. If you guys would give me any feedback you'd like to see included in this, we can do that. But I tried to, sit down last night and jot down, the things that we've been talking about. And then what I'll do also is I'll research and see, I started the process but didn't complete it, if any other counties have any criteria that might be used. I hadn't found any yet, but I will look back and see.
I think what you said is pretty much what we need on there to look at also. If you keep adding and adding and adding, then too much is just that, it's too much.
And then you always got the catch-all about public use. That covers a lot of things. But I really would hate to see us cut off an access. That could be dangerous.
And that's my concern is the public use, because a lot of roads that we have closed the public was unaware that they was closed, and once they are closed, then the question comes up, why did we close this road? I use that road. I mean, it might not be that much, but people do use this road, although the owners want the property closed, but still, it's a public road, so to just deny them because the owner wants it closed, I
Must
don't
not
think
use
it's
it that much if they didn't see the postage.
well, that's another question, the posting that's put out there, how large is that posting? Most of the time, if it's just a 12 by 12, who notices that?
Right. One of the things that I would like to see us do with that is to put the postings up in a bigger posting that you see and maybe a greater distance, as well. So, yeah, I think we can do some more things to keep everybody, in tune with that. But we do need some criteria.
And I agree the posting needs to be larger, and if we could do something like a aluminum sign that can be reused, it doesn't have the specific road on it, but it states general purpose.
Right.
And then dates, if we leave blanks, we can put it on there, we can reuse that over and over, and that way the cost of the signage, it doesn't keep building.
What we do is we would take the sign, we'd have it printed as to what it was, and in terms of location and dates and time, we would simply put like a duct tape over it, and then write it on it, and you can move it from location to location.
Okay, I think we're bogging here a bit. Let's just go ahead, and it sounds like to me that we want to extend the moratorium until the end of January, at which time we will have our new road closing procedure ready for us to look at and adopt. Is that what I'm hearing?
Did you make a motion, Ben, for that?
I think Beth has already made the motion, we just needed a second. We jumped into discussion a little early. Okay. Is there any further discussion on it? All in favor? Okay. Up to number 2, discussion of moratorium on construction around Lake Meriwether. Go ahead, Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir. This again is a moratorium that is set to expire December 31st. Not had really a chance to work on that. We've been working on the trail and other things, and my recommendation would be to extend that till June or July 1st of 2019. We're trying to get that squared away.
I'd like to make a comment on that too. Last week while I was working, a customer came in from Florida and got talking to him, and she was thrilled about her brother had bought a home, lakefront home on Lake Meriwether as a vacation place, and it was very obvious from the conversation. They see that as their property going to the water and access to the water. And I know that's the thing we're trying to address here, because that is the water source for Woodbury. They can't just, while they can sit there and look at the lake, you can't use it. But that was definitely not their impression, and I don't know how long ago this man bought it, but they're using it as a vacation place, and she had come up to spend the week and use it. So that's just something we've really got to address and make sure. Like I said, I don't know how recently he bought it or whatever. It sounded like it was recent, but
We probably need some ordinance that explains that they cannot cut trees of a certain size. We had a situation maybe within the past where we'd let them clear the undergrowth, the little sweet gums that grew up. But as far as a tree like this, they couldn't cut it, because it was not their tree. It's off their
and
property.
that's very common. You take your Georgia Power properties around the area lakes. There's a certain boundary there that you can't do things with. That's common. But in their case, you do have access to the water.
Right.
Lake Meriwether, you can't because of being the water source.
The water source, that's right. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm hearing a suggestion. We make a motion here to extend the moratorium on construction around Lake Meriwether till July the 1st. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Moratorium extended. Number 9, we have new business. And I've already been told by Mr. Bill, award workers' compensation agreement, we're not ready. Do I hear a motion we table that to the next meeting? So moved. Is there a second?
Second. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. They want to push it.
We'll have to have a special call meeting sometime.
You want to do a special call meeting?
We need to complete that before the end.
Before the end of the year, because it expires.
And we do have ACCG here represented this morning too, and we'll notify you guys on that in our back.
Thank you.
Okay. They appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Okay, where were we?
You need something. The table until later this month in a special call meeting.
Motion so states that we will table till later in the month for a special call meeting.
Unless you want to look at your calendars now, we've got everybody together and establish it.
Yeah. Go on the 19th after the lunch.
19th after the brunch.
Would that work?
Board speak.
Sure. Need to establish a time specific on that.
11:30.
11:30.
What, oh yeah, that'll do. 11:30.
11:30 on the 19th.
The award workers' compensation agreement will be rescheduled for December 19th at 11:30. Do I hear a second to that?
Make the motion.
I think Brian made the motion. didn't he?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Rescheduled. We have, as the second item here, request for comments on the GDOT local bridge replacement program for, actually, I think this is down at Flat Shoals. Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the state of Georgia identifies bridges around the state that are on, local road systems for consideration of replacement through their Office of Bridge Design. And they've identified Flat Shoals Road over Flint Creek, Flint River, as a potential replacement project. project, it's kind of a partnership. The county would agree to provide some assistance on funding for right-of-way, and of course the state would move forward and do the engineering. They would do the construction and all of those things. They will not move forward until they get a memorandum of agreement with the county that says, hey, we're willing to work with you guys on this. Right now, we don't have that value estimate, so it's kind of hard to say it's going to cost us this. But what we would have to do we would have to have them send us, once they know that, the cost of the right-of-way. And at that time, there's a memorandum of agreement, and I think if it was, $1 million, we could simply say, hey, we can't afford to do that, and the design would just sit there. But they will not move forward without some commitment, and I really think at this point, and I will verify that, the commitment from us, so in terms of the dollar, is still up for negotiation at this point, and we can go back and tell them we've only got this much to spend.
So could it be contingent upon the final dollar amount?
It would be, because you guys will have to execute that memorandum of agreement before we expend any dollars on that. And, the bridge is old, it does need, we've dealt with some scouring issues down there already. We went out onto the bridge a couple of years ago and looked at some of the problems that we had to try to address. So it definitely is a good thing to work toward replacement, but I do not want to tie us in, on an unknown amount, and neither does GDOT. They understand that we just can't write a blank check. And one thing that I would suggest on this, if I'm not here when that process starts, I'd like to see us try to get sufficient right-of-way to be able to build a river access ramp there as well, because we don't have an access at that point, and that would be good. It would allow multiple points to access the river, and I think that would be a good thing to have if, as this goes forward. So just something if I get it or don't bring it back up or not here, y'all remember that.
Okay. Obviously, Pike County will be our partner. They'll do their procurement on their side.
They'll do the procurement on their side, right. And
I was going to ask, because there's so much work needs to be done, can we look at some other options of taking care of this? If we do a ramp, maybe we can look at some assets as far as granting or something else to another means of how to do this, because it's something that needs to be done, but it is going to be a costly thing. So even if we did it with Pike, could there be a partnership to offset some of this cost?
see, Pike has,
But Meriwether County has more of it on our end, right?
well, they would have an equal amount. They'd have to be responsible for the right-of-way on their side of the river. And they have a small ramp over there, but I like to kind of keep folks in Meriwether, let them put in Meriwether and take out in Meriwether, and maybe they'll spend some dollars. And I just think it would be a good opportunity. I don't think in the overall scheme of things that you're looking at a lot of dollars. In fact, if we could require, get that, GDOT might add that into their contract and simply build the ramp while they're there. So I'll be glad to, talk with them and everything.
I think it's worth trying to put it in there.
Yes, I do too.
It might be, may fall under a parks and rec
That's what I was
grant.
thinking. That's what I was really thinking. Kind of like what we're able to do at Lake Meriwether.
I mean, the reality of it would really be nice if we had enough frontage where not only have a river access, but we have a parking area.
That's what I was
too.
saying.
That's a very popular spot on the river, I understand, with the rock and everything. So, just another option.
I know in tourism, that's a constant thing that they talk about, and they have a committee that represents Plant River. Is there something that we could work with them on? Because they're constantly talking about, getting a frontage that we could do something with that area.
Yes, ma'am. I think that, definitely could be, and I think, their support of it would be an extra leverage on our behalf.
And doing it in conjunction with a bridge replacement might be our best opportunity to do it and get it for as little cost as we can.
Absolutely. It could be. And so what I'd like, I guess, the board is to tell them we really want to partner with this. We'd like to move forward. We're going to need to know the cost aspect of the ramp there as well.
So what you need from us is just a motion to move on with the comments.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
There,
Motion. We did motion.
I did. Okay, explain this number 3, the GDOT final acceptance on contract to pay.
That's what I wanted.
well, I had the same question when I got the letter. I thought, well, goodness, this is back, I think Bill and I talked back in 2011. I did call to say, hey, what's going on with it? And GDOT, like a lot of us, is just kind of running behind on their finalization and payment.
7 years.
Oh,
7 years. And her comment to me was, well, yeah, we may be behind, but we're trying to get it all done.
It probably needs repaving
and
now.
I saw something in there, any final expenses we will cover. Is that what the state said?
That's what they said. Or there's really, I talked to her, there's really nothing else for
Nothing
us
else.
us to pay or be involved in. This is just them doing the final quantity. I would draw y'all's attention to look at how much that road costs to build, and kind of get you an idea when you take a road, a dirt road, a paved road, what you're looking at. You know, just the
Some of us remember.
just the grading was almost 300,000, and then you had $200,000 worth of aggregate base, $304,000 worth of
It's right at $1 million.
I thought it was.
So anyway,
That's
this
been
just
the last
Road pay.
road paved from, we go from dirt to paved, and it was the first one in I don't know how many years.
Well, then,
How many?
price here is $2 million.
It's almost $2 million.
That's what you're saying?
It's $2 million.
53,780.
And I was trying to determine the length of the road based upon the striping, and it may have been, because the solid traffic stripe yellow is 4.11. That would probably...
You gotta remember, that's 7 years ago too, though. That
Yeah,
cost
that's right.
more than that
It
now.
costs a lot more than that. So anyway, just an idea of what we're talking about. And we've been telling everybody it's like $500,000 to $600,000 a mile, and people, you know, mouth wide open, but I mean, we have the proof 7 years ago what it cost. But anyway, this is just for acceptance in your record that GDOT has finally closed this out and, you know, on the road project.
Do I hear a motion we accept the final contract closure on soon for Alley Road?
So much.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Notice of emergency, Lemig, culvert construction, GDOT.
Yes, sir. This is just really for information and ask you guys to accept this. We tried to get additional dollars for the Cove Road and other things, and we were hoping to get a lot more. Unfortunately, I was told, well, gosh, with everything that's going on in South Georgia, you guys are pretty fortunate to have got, you know, any assistance. But we did get $75,000 from the state, which is 75 we didn't have, and 75 we wouldn't have had if we had not asked and put in the application. So we're going to get that $75,000. And this works a little bit different than the regular MIG. They will not send us dollars up front. Once we let the project, we'll then turn it back in, and they'll pay up to 75%. I think what we're looking to do, there's 4 roads.
Up to 75%. Is that what you
I'm sorry, they'll pay up to $75,000 or 70%.
70%, okay. 70%.
And-
Whichever's
yeah,
less.
Whichever's less, and it will be, the $75,000 will be less. And what we will do with this, the plan is we will look at contracting the Cove Road, because that's something that we probably just cannot do. And then I think the other roads we can probably do in-house, and then of course we'll use that as our match as well. So I want to let you guys know we did get this. I was hoping we'd get a lot more, but $75,000 is a pretty good little
Christmas present?
We didn't have.
right. Absolutely.
Can I ask if we use this toward the Cove Road, do we have any idea what kind of timeline we're looking at on the Cove Road? I'm just beginning to get lots and lots of calls. And then if we use that on Cove Road and we're going to do the other culverts ourselves, River Cove Road, again, that's in my district. And I know Tyrell knows how many calls we get. I don't know how many times y'all had to go out there and do
something on that one. What kind of time frame are we looking at?
Well, Bill, Bill's been working on the design, and, I think you've got the design just about down. On the,
I guess once you get it let, and then the contractor's ready to move on the job, probably together about a month.
Okay, that would be Cove Road.
Cove
But the
Road.
ones we're gonna do ourselves, what do we think the turnaround time's gonna be on those?
River Cove, we've got some materials we brought in, some beams, and we're talking about pouring concrete through the existing pipes that are on River Cove Road.
Are the beams already out there on River Cove? Yeah, I've heard that. They don't understand why they're just sitting. I'm just telling you, switch comments and calls. I'm kidding.
Kind of waiting on weather, so.
Okay.
That's a big deterrent.
I think with what Bill's already done, we can put together a contract on this, let it out for bid. That'll be one of those things I'd like to shoot to do by the end of the year. And we can get that done. We can
To
go
let
ahead and do
that by the end of the year.
That's just for the bid.
That's just the one on Cove Road,
That's
but
just
the others.
Cove Road. The others we're gonna have to, because of the dollars, we're gonna have to, do in-house. But, like I say, part of the reason the beams are out there is preparing to get that road.
I know, when they see that out there, of course, they think something's about to be done, and the next thing is, we've just got material sitting out there waiting, nobody doing anything. You know how it goes.
We planned on moving on that project, and then when we found out the possibility that we were gonna get the emergency elevator, we kind of backed off. Because that part of the emergency elevator request, we just kind of held off to see what would happen with that emergency money. Now we didn't get it, we got back on the field.
All right, thank you.
All right, any
We
further
think the Cove
discussion?
Road will be more than the 75,000.
Yes, but I think it will be. We had some estimates on it. It was
180.
180, yeah. Yeah, so, I think the whole project, we're like, what, 300 and something when we put all the four together, four projects? Yeah, but like I said, that would include labor, so we can do some of that. Road work is expensive.
Okay, any further mention here on the emergency limited? We've covered that pretty well, right? And I see no action for us to take here.
Just acceptance of the funding, and we'll move forward.
All right, do you want us to make a motion to accept that funding?
Yes, sir, please.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, thank you, Ms. Beth. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? We have accepted the funding.
Thank y'all.
I think we need to put our seat belts on and get ready to go here. We got appointments coming up, Commissioners. Appointment for Industrial Authority, Industrial Development Authority. The first one is District 3. That is mine. I have talked with Alan. He says he would like to remain there. Alan Parham is my recommendation.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Alan Parham for IDA. Appointment to Industrial Development Authority, District 5. Ms. Beth.
That's mine. Ms. Plant would like to continue to be on the IDA, and Ms. Jane has also expressed her desire to have her to remain on that board. So my motion is to appoint Rosa Plant to the IDA.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Somebody's getting in the Christmas spirit. All in favor? Okay, what was the vote there?
All in favor. It was unanimous.
All right, appointment to the, let's see, where am I? Appointment to the Water and Sewage Authority. Stuff starts to run together. District 1,
That's my district, and I'd like to table that, please.
table.
Yes.
Is there a second on the table?
Second.
All in favor? So table. Appointment to Water and Sewage Authority, which is mine, District 3. I have no commitment to this time I wish to take.
I'll second.
All in favor? So table. Appointment to the Planning Commission, District 1.
I'd like to table that as well.
I'll second.
All in favor of table? So passes. Appointment to the Two Rivers RC and D expires 12/31. Tyrell, I believe that was yours, right?
Yes.
You got any problem with continuing to serve on that Two Rivers?
I'll make that motion.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of Tyrell continuing? So passed. Appointment to ACCG Legislative Coordinator. I think that's you, Commissioner Hines, is that correct?
That's correct, and I've served in that capacity, I think, ever since I've been on the board. I would like to pass it on to someone else who would like to take it on.
Does anybody want this particular job? One time.
You did such a good job.
If Shirley doesn't want it, I do sit on 4 boards already. I'll take this for 1 year. If you don't want it, if you want it, then it's yours.
I
will continue.
Okay.
You do a good job.
She just doesn't want me on it, I knew that.
Okay, we've got Commissioner Hines for Legislative Coordinator, and she says she's agreed. I think we did a second on that, didn't we? Okay, all in favor? Appointment to the Board of...
I'm so sorry, forgive me. Who did the motion on that? I missed that. Who did the motion and the second?
Brian did the motion.
Who did the second?
I did, that's fine. Let's go. All right. Appointment to the Board of Assessors.
This is a...
Three-person.
It's a three-person
Three-person board?
Yes, and,
Who's currently, who's the person?
Well, Lauren Harbin is the one that she filled an unexpired term, and she has expressed a desire not to be, she cannot continue. She's the chief appraiser in Talbot County, and the time will just not allow for her to do it. Her suggestion to me was perhaps we even look in-house for somebody who they don't have to take time off from work or have to, as far as the training and that kind of thing, it just takes up a lot of their own time and expense. I don't know if we have somebody to do that, or if somebody has an idea for somebody.
I know at what tab the appraisal staff could serve on as Board of Assessors. I think the law changed on that.
Yeah.
They had to go outside, but I don't know that there's anything that would include a staff person.
Well, I had somebody call me and express an interest in it, but if they do, then all 3 people would be from the same part of the county, and with it just being 3, I think it needs to be spread out.
Can we just table
You
this?
can table it. I mean, they can still, even if we go past the first of the year, they can still act as long as.
Is this the position where you have to go get the schooling? Is this where you have to go get the training?
And see, Ms. Harbin didn't have to because she
She was
already
already had the training.
Do I hear a motion to table?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All in favor? So tabled. Appointment to Three Rivers RDC Board. It's the non-public member. Faye Perdue currently holds that position, and she's agreed to stay on. And I nominate Faye Perdue for another term.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Faye Perdue. Okay, appointment to Kathy.
I make a motion we keep Miss Mary.
Miss Mary, I knew she had it, yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Lucky you, Miss Mary. Appointment to Recreation Advisory Board, District 1.
I'd like to table that, please.
Table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? So tabled. Appointment to Rec Advisory Board, District 2. Ms. Mary?
I spoke with Chris on, and he agreed to stay on, so I would like to reappoint Chris.
And Chris?
Chris,
Owens.
Chris on.
Mr. Gray, I think your other appointment too, because of attendance, is
Right.
actually disqualified.
And I have someone in mind, but they have not agreed, so I would like to table that one.
Okay.
So, when we...
Okay, what did you just table?
Wait a minute, we got, it's not on there.
Oh.
The one that, for absentee.
Oh,
We can bring that back up in January.
okay. Why don't we just bring that back? That'll be fine.
So Ms. Mary made the motion for Chris Owens.
Chris Owens, and
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Chris Owens. Appointment to Recreation Advisory Board, District 3, that one's mine. Randy Carter's done a great job there. I'll reappoint him.
Second.
All in favor, or discussion of it all? Okay, all in favor? Randy Carter. Appointment to Recreation Advisory Board, District 4.
Are there any attendance issues with District 4?
Miss Carter, she should. We need her.
Well, I haven't spoken to her, so I want to table it until I
Table,
do confirm.
okay. I have a motion to table, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? So tabled. Appointment to Public Facilities Authority. Who's currently in that?
Robin Wilkerson.
This is a group that probably rarely meets, but, once they're needed, it's a financing mechanism for, which may have been established for healthcare facilities something a long time ago. Is that, everybody know that's,
Has Robin been made aware of this? She's I think we better table this one then. Do I hear a motion to table?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of tabling? So passes. So table. Appointment of Zoning Board of Appeals, and who's currently there?
Herman Ward.
Herman Ward.
I'll need to table that one.
Okay, I have a table. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of tabling? So that one is tabled.
Thank y'all.
Almost like a marathon there. Report from our finance director, Mr. Field.
Jeff, you've got to see reports of the bank balances. The general fund is really good shape this time of year. We expect a large influx of money to the tax collector's office before the end of the year. Really make that balance good. Two debt accounts, the SPOS debt and just the SPOS debt. Just to comment on that our two sales tax amounts we get from the state of Georgia, one applies to SPOS and the other one goes to LOB. Both of those amounts we get are above budget, what we budgeted next year.
Okay, that's
That's
good.
really good sign. It's been continuing to be above budget for the past 3 or 4 months, so knock on wood, hope that trend will continue. Unless you have the equation on anything else on that list. Property tax, we're at almost 21% collections through October 31st. I think the date is, we're at 20, is that correct?
Yes.
So, we'll get back to more than by, certainly by the end of the year. Someone have on that unless you have any questions.
I
Have nothing, go
I
ahead,
just want to make a
somebody speak.
statement. I was just showing where our hotel motel tax has increased. Or has it?
That's just money that we need to transfer to the chamber.
Have we seen any increase in it though? It should be with the Best Western, I would think.
I really haven't paid that much attention.
So that amount is for the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay.
We collected it and transferred it to the chamber. That hotel is in Warm Spring. Warm Springs is limited, so I don't know if we can plan to.
So it goes strictly to,
I think we do.
It's not in the city limits.
Yeah, it's in city
It
limits.
is.
It is, but the city gets some, but I think we do too, and we don't get any on the, okay.
I think it's the city, we don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have the city's dedication, a portion
And
back
they do.
for,
They do the portion to the
Tourism.
chamber, and then I know as merchants, when we go to them for things for tourism, whatever, that's how they pay for it, is out of that, so they do use that, but I thought the county got something out of it.
I'll check on that.
well, the reason I asked is because of that additional state tax that's added on. Remember the state passed a tax,
$5.
the $5.
They get all that.
Oh, the state gets all of that, so the county don't get any.
But almost all of our hotels are in city limits.
City limits.
So we gotta get something from somewhere.
Local farms out where they're located out.
Yeah.
Isabel, not in the city limits, in the RV park.
But that's not a lot, you know?
We don't get a lot.
what's normally there?
Well, I had transferred.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's why it looked like it was so big. I was like, it's more than what's normally been in there.
You sit on it.
Yeah, we know that.
Anything further, Mr. Bill?
That's it, thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. County Administrator, Mr. Gates.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Busy, seems like we've done a little bit of everything. It's just things are all over the page right now. I will start out that we were able to get 4 of our firefighters in the state training program. And we're going to do some in-house training as well for certification, but we were able to get 4 in for the state class. That doesn't cost us really hardly anything except for, a small amount for food and sporting. I think that's an 8-week class. There will be opportunities to get 12 more in as the year goes on too. So we're going to continue to take advantage of that. Plus, we're doing some training in the house too, because we'll have some numbers that will exceed this. So that starts in January. The October 2018 methane monitoring on the landfill is fine. Everything is in compliance with that. Over the next few weeks, what I'm going to try to do is to just wrap up a lot of small things that are out there. We have a lot of things that we just had to put on the back burner. Lake Meriwether, talk about that for a minute. We ordered the trail signs. They look really good. They are, we'll put them up in a triangular sign. And we'll place those there. We'll have a white background with a peach with green stems, and then we'll use a blue triangle for the informational sign. Those have been ordered. We're working on that extension. If we don't get that extension, then we're going to be down there nailing up some signs and getting going. But I think we will, and so we're working on that. We're also working on the dump station. Big Bill's done a dump station design, and we're working on that. We're trying to finish everything up, and I think it's going to come together, here very soon, and it's going to look really good. I'm going to look at creating and developing a bid package for the paving for the parking lot behind the tax building, and also the sidewalk work we've got to do. I've got to deal with the city LeBig projects. We moved forward with our LeBig with contractor understanding that we're going to get back with the cities and see how much dollars they had to do. A meeting with Luthersville, I think we've been trying to put that meeting together. We're meeting here very soon to talk about that. I think we were up patching yesterday. His groups were there. Working on our timber harvest ordinance. Susan and I met. We've now met with 2 professional foresters, and we met with the state forestry guys, and we've got that pretty close. So we'll have that very soon.
Is it going to be something we're going to be able to enforce? I mean, I know there's a difference of opinion out there as to what we can or cannot
Well,
do.
yes, ma'am, but there's people that say, oh, you can't do anything, and then there's others that say, yes, you can. I think we can enforce it. We'll make it, we're going to have to, look at the language. We're not trying to punish anybody. We just want them to follow the rules. And I think we'll have something that we can definitely.
We just had a disastrous situation out there on J.C. Cole Road, in the last few weeks, and got it all straightened out, 2 days later, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, they came in, right before the hurricane was coming in. We get a call, they're out hauling timber. Now, we probably won't be able to prevent them from cutting timber, but that's okay. I mean, our issue and our responsibility starts at the roadway. And we want them to be able to, take care of our drainage, and we don't want them to have to fix it after the fact. We'd love to be proactive with that. So I think we can. I know this has been done other places. We'll make it where it's reasonable and works for them in a timely fashion. So I think we can get that done.
I have a question. So we are addressing the bond issue?
Well, we're limited on the amount of
Limited on the amount. But what about the other fees when they are not in compliance with things that they do? Say, for example, they don't have the proper drainage, things of this nature. Can fees be attached to that? Or
You can
no?
fine them $500 a day.
A day, yeah.
If they're violating. But, what we'd like to do is, I want to take a position that we, the county, have a responsibility for the road. And just like somebody decides to go out and build be no different. They should have to do that. The rules require them to put out a, gravel pad to prevent the mud. We want to see them put in some geoprotect fabric to keep the mud from coming up. You still will have some stains, but we won't have like what we had down at, across here from Mr. Trigio. And we want them to properly size the pipe, and a tree top is not the proper size pipe. And so it's just a lot can be done. And this is only a handful of the folks. Ron can tell you, most of them are really good, and the ones that are really good, they want everybody to do the same thing they have to do. So
I guess my main concern is, like you say, it's just a handful of people who, whatever reason, have this work ethic, but we too have to do a better job, for lack of that. But we too, as a county, has to make sure that our policies and our procedures are very clear and very precise, and people have a full understanding of what that looks like. The inconsistency there may cause people to feel like, well, I don't have to do it. I've never done it before. Why do I have to do it now? And unfortunately, those things to me are not grandfathered in. So you got to be in compliance. So I think even what we come up with, we still have to have a way to make sure people fully understand what that process is. So when they come and apply, we have to do a better job of making sure that we're providing them with the correct and proper information.
Well, like the forestry agent said, told Baron and I, he said that the word spreads fast. If you start enforcing this and you start withholding the bonds, those loggers talk to each other and the word just really spreads rapidly.
Okay.
So once we've enforced it a few times, I think we'll see a pretty dramatic difference.
Good.
And we will develop, we already have, we just need to formalize, we already developed a procedural policy that we went over with the foresters and the state of how this needs to work. This needs to happen, this needs to happen. We'll put that into a narrative. When they come in to get a timber permit, we'll say, this is what you have to do.
Well,
And we can even mail it out to them if, I'm sure we got a list of the timber.
And even put it on the website as a PDF, so prior to them coming, they'll know what it is that they need to do and what they need to be in compliance with. So as much information we can get out there, so we won't have these discrepancies again.
I usually don't make comment when you're talking, but I was there for part of this. I think the strongest advocate we have is the professional forester. I felt like he was a much better advocate than the state was. And he was explaining some things and how he would go about it. And the other thing here, if you can get the foresters on board with you, they will help you weed out these guys that don't need to be out there. And that's pretty much what came out of our conversation with them.
And that's very true, because the situation that was directly across from me, it is the Georgia Forestry that actually shut these individuals down. And so that's very true. They are on our side, and they shut the entire business down.
And they will do, they have best management practices. So we think that we'll be able to have a very workable ordinance, and we will put together a procedure where they'll all clearly understand what they've got to do. And if they don't do that, we write a citation or take some of their bond to fix what they don't do right.
Okay, kickstart on the next subject.
Okay. All right, let's see. Want to mention that County Line Church Road, of course, we're just bringing that up again, is going to be closed for bridge replacement. Got a road that a film group associated with a local car manufacturer wants to do a film. They want to do a little shoot on this road, and they want to dam up. There's at Great Creek crossing, they want to dam it up a little bit, get the water a little deeper. But right now, I don't know why they want to do that. They could go down there today, they could get all they wanted. But
Meriwether County road conditions does not meet their criteria.
No,
Make it work.
they want to show the off-road or the nature, and they wanted to close the road. I said, listen, you can't really close the road for that. The people that are coming through there, they agreed that this is a very short shoot. They said, look, we'll just do it. We won't close the road. Anybody comes through, we'll just let them come on through. And so I told them, I said, just notify us. We'll work with you on that, and I'll get with Ron's office on that. But I don't really think it takes anything for road closure. I just want you guys to be aware of it. And it is a beautiful area. I've been down there, and it's something that, I hadn't thought about it as a commercial, but it'd be a great spot.
Branches. I think.
So, But last time I was down there, the mud boggers have been there.
I just say, there's water across that road.
Yes, they don't want to try their own part with that, I'm sure. Other things, Load Oak Fire Station. Gonna have a little gathering for the little community there, December 15th, I'm sure. And then, this Saturday at 3, I think it starts at 3. We're then gonna plan for a ribbon cutting and opening in January. And we'll do that to, I think at that time we can do not only Load Oak, but I think we do Luthersville as well. And so we'll have that coming into station. So we'll be working on that. But I did want to let you guys know, Load Oak is, they're proud of that station.
That's good.
They've already come in and put up Christmas trees and all kinds of stuff. So
That's great.
I'm glad to get it going. So that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gay. Commissioner Threadgill, let's kick off.
I'll try to keep it very short. I just want to thank everybody that continues to come to every meeting. It is nice to see everybody every time that we have one for that consistency. Thank you to those that come from out of town. I want to wish everybody a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Also want to let you all know that tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Manchester, they'll be doing a groundbreaking for their water park that they're going to be building there. So anyone that wants to come, again, it's at 11 a.m. In Manchester. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Threadgill. Commissioner Bray.
I really don't have anything. I just would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I thank the board for working with me and all the public. Also, I want to thank the board for allowing us to have another Christmas event next year. And I'm excited about that, and I thank everyone for their feedback. It's been some good, and as usual, there's always some negative, but mostly it's positive. So I thank everyone for that, and I look forward to working with everyone again next year.
Just, again, the top of the season to you, and appreciate your patronage. Yeah, that's what you've done. You've been real good patrons. As I think Mr. Gay covered what's going on down at Lake Meriwether, and that has been, from time to time, fairly intense. And if we do get the extension, that will take us to April the 30th, and we are hoping to get that extension. I think that would mean a lot. And it's not something we requested. It was something that they actually called us up and said, could you use some more time? Obviously we can. I only had one other thing I wanted to touch on, and I know it's that time of the year when the roads really are focused on. And I guess I have a question. When a work order comes in, and I get calls even after the work order comes in, and I see it when it comes across my email, is there any response, Tyrell, to the people that send that out? Do we send anything back to them?
Right now, we don't have that set up for us to respond. Only time you get something after the work is complete. So it'll come back to each commissioner and the citizen.
Okay, could we get something that would acknowledge that we have received that? Because I get calls saying, I sent this work order in and I haven't heard a thing. Just some way to acknowledge that we're in the process of doing something with their request.
Right. We'll probably have to get some grant.
Okay. If you would, I'll get back with you on that too.
Okay.
I really don't think of anything else that I need to cover at this time. Commissioner Hadley.
This Saturday evening in Warm Springs, we're going to try once again to have the movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It'll be at 6:30 in the little park there at the intersection of 85 and Spring Street. So anybody would like to come, the movie will be free. We will have hot chocolate and popcorn and all. It got rained out last weekend, but we're going to try that again this week. One other thing I want to mention, this is actually in Manchester, and I had talked with Commissioner Threadgill about it. There's a little neighborhood grocery store, Henna's Grocery, that opened back recently, and they unfortunately were the victim of a robbery a couple of weeks ago, and the proprietor was shot. And the community has really rallied around this store. They were just very thankful for them to be there. And tomorrow afternoon, between hours of 5 and 6, folks are going to gather there just to show Ms. Kochar some support. Her family has come from India to be with her, but her husband remains in the hospital. They have young children, so she's trying to keep the store going and support them. And I just want to say, if you happen to be down that way, stop in and just buy a Coke, buy a pack of crackers. She's closing at 6. She's not staying open at night right now, just till they can get through this. But they were new to our community. They moved here from
I can't remember.
Fayetteville maybe or some, I can't,
Fayette or Riverdale, one of the
somewhere, but they actually moved here to be a part of the community, and it's just a very unfortunate thing. So if you're out and about, just stop by. And it's on Nebula Road, out close to the Sharon Williams plant, just to show them some support.
Yes.
Yeah. And that, like I said, I stopped by to see them the other day, just very gracious and very appreciative of the support that they have received. And I had to miss the last commissioners meeting, so I just wanted to say to Ms. Bray, thank you for the work, for the country Christmas. I thought it went very well. Look forward to that happening again. There's always things you can do to improve. So the Christmas is okay, but there was lots of good things about it as well. So hopefully that'll just be a bigger event. Thank you for all of your hard work and leadership. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for coming to our meetings and being a part. As someone said earlier, maybe it was Mayor Hancock, that if you're not here, you really don't know what all goes on. It's so easy to get caught up in all the negativity that is on social media about the county. We're bashed every time you turn around about something, but it's a lot more than just roads. Roads are a big part of our issues that we're working on, but there are so many facets to, you just go through our agenda today. It's everything from A to Z on there that you have to try to know a little bit about to try to do something. So do appreciate the ones of you take the time to support the county and be here to hear what's going on and support the commissioners. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Before I continue, I forgot to mention something, if you'll let me, Commissioner Hines. Mayor Bray and I were, Mayor Bray, why did I say Mayor Bray? Mayor Glover and you were still on my mind. We were over at Three Rivers this last week. We had a kind of a work session. And one of the things that's come up, and it's on the radar scope, and Kirk will be getting us some bullet points out here shortly. One of the posts that they support heavily is transportation, and that's how we get some of the buses, the things that we get. Well, obviously the state in its infinite wisdom, it may do some reorganization, and you'll start to see these hubs move up like to Rome, and I think the other one was maybe down in Valdosta. That's probably not something we're going to want, but he's going to make a complete list of these bullet points and things he's going to try to do, and give it'll be incumbent on us then to get with our representatives and see what we can do to maintain status quo, pretty much is what we're going to try to do. Because my understanding is Three Rivers is going to be the one that's really targeted. We're going to be hit hard by this action if it is done.
Why is that?
Because of...
Is it where we are?
I think geography has a lot to do with it, but we are going to be hit pretty hard with it. I will end what I have got to say. Commissioner Hines, go ahead.
First of all, I do want to say Merry Christmas to everyone and a Happy New Year. I want to thank those who come on a regular basis to our meetings. There's two young ladies I definitely want to acknowledge that I think I've been a commissioner 4 years. Yeah, I have been a commissioner 4 years. And I know that they've only missed maybe 2 meetings in 4 years. So Ms. Rosser and Ms. Johnson-Reeves, I personally say thank you for attending. I know one meeting you all missed. We were also worried. We sent out the patrol looking for you. So, that's remarkable that you've been so committed. And I know that the things that you hear and learn here, you do go back out in the community and share. So I personally say thank you. I know everybody can't do that, but I recognize the fact that you all have been very committed to the county. And I think your heart is to see this county grow in a most positive way. So appreciate the work. And not only the two of you, 4 years is a long time to come to every meeting. Not only do they come to the morning meetings, they come to the evening meetings as well. So just wanted to acknowledge that. Just briefly too, roads is this time of year we get our tremendous calls on roads. This is the weekly report that we get, the county gets. And there are a lot of things that have been closed, as Terrell has indicated, and I too have asked that there's some mechanism to let the citizens know that we've received their request and that when it's completed, because we're encouraging them to use the roadwork icon on the website, and I think a lot of people are doing that. But just looking at this road request, a lot of it is potholes, a lot of it is gravel. I'm excited to hear what's going to be brought to the board the first of the year on the maintenance road project, because we definitely going to have to address this in a different manner than what we have, simply because there's just a lot of issues we need to have. And one I will bring to the attention of this board, everybody has their problematic road. I know country is it? County road. And I have several too, but one that I have most is Marble Road, Strickland Town, and Bishop Road, and Beulah Evans. And so hopefully we can come up with something a little bit more concrete. But on Marble Road, I just want to bring to attention, because we've had so much rain, the drainage problem is getting to be one where water is selling so around people's wells. And so, I think if different people come to the table with different ideas and solutions, maybe we can come up with something a little bit more concrete. To Terrell and to your crew, you do a fantastic job with what you have to work with. We understand that. But I think now, as a county, we're going to have to look at how we can support what you do even better with manpower and equipment. So Bill, thank you for the work that you've been bringing to the county as well. But I hope in 2019 we do come up with a more concrete plan to address how we're going to handle our roads and our situation. So, and then I thank the citizens for just reaching out to us, letting us know some things we weren't aware of, but because they are bringing it to our attention, we can address it a little bit more easier. But I ask people for their patience. Unfortunately, this time of year with the weather and the rain, it just creates even more problems on roads, especially with the drainage and the potholes. I don't know whether you get more potholes in the winter or in the spring, but winter? Yeah, so, this just seemed like because of the weather and the conditions, potholes are just popping up everywhere, and it's not isolated to Meriwether County. It's an ongoing problem in every county, but appreciate all the hard work that y'all done. The last thing I want to mention, this past Tuesday in Lono, there's a country store right there on the Forest Road in 54, and the mayor of Lono had a desire to fix it up and do something with that store. So for a week and a half, we went in and painted and did a lot of work, major transformation. But we hosted a holiday dinner there this past Tuesday. Absolutely wonderful. We had about 90 people to show up. I want to thank everybody who participated and helped. The store will be open continuously for the rest of the holidays. They're going to have vendors in there on Saturdays. So if anyone wants to come and set up and sell their arts and craft, it's available. You can contact the mayor of Lono to get more information. But once again, Lono is moving forward. The pictures look
I want to
great.
piggyback just a little something on the road work. If something as simple as when there is a number assigned to a work order, if we could just put that in there, assigned work order, then I think that will indicate that it has been assigned and that it's in the process. And I think that will probably help the citizens that there's a way just to put that in there.
Yeah, because even looking at this, Terrell, there's a lot of requests, but there are still a lot of them that are open. But once again, if we can find a better way to communicate back with the citizens on where we at. But a lot of it has to do with, they need gravel, but we can keep putting gravel down, but if the problem is more drainage and other issues, you're just putting Band-Aid on a situation. And we're spending a lot of money on gravel, but when it rains and the water is running and it runs in the road, it's just pushing the gravel down in the ditches and streams. So we've got to come up with a better method of how we're going to address this. And I know you all have some things in place, so just looking forward to what solutions you all going to bring to us the first of the year.
When someone sees a lot of potholes on the road, they think gravel is the solution. Gravel
It's not the solution.
That's why I try to go out there every time I get a work order, come to my phone, I try to go and set some jobs. So a lot of times you got to work these gravel bands with the pothole. You can't put gravel over talking about, Buckles is gonna be there. So that's a lot of things that's going on, especially in my ground. Once we take a 10 load of gravel out of our yards, that's $600 or $700 per ground every trip. So gravel's not a solution.
They come to this. And we, I think we know that, you know that, I think we've got to just, kind of educate our constituents on that, as well as look at some other solutions, how we're going to address it, because what little bit I've been able to see, a lot of our roads has a drainage problem. Thank you.
That's it. Oh, Barrister Susan.
I'd also like to take the opportunity to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. And I'm guessing we need an executive session to discuss litigation and personnel.
That's right.
Litigation personnel. Okay, I've got it. At this time, I promised Ms. Hightower that she could come up. We're going to have our public comment. If you would, come on. I know you had something you want to say. Come up to the mic if you would, yeah. And just sign that sheet.
I signed it when I came in, do I need to sign it again?
Did you sign up for public comment?
No.
Yeah, it's just public comments this time. Up here, jump on me, I guess.
Well, first of all, my first comment, I want to say Happy New Year, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you. And this is the first time I have sat in a full county commissioners meeting in years, not since the time that we tried to get our name of our road changed from Copeland Perry Cemetery Road to the J.W. Dunn Road. But I want to tell you, I am very disappointed because I did not get my money back, because I didn't know anything about rezoning until Meriwether County called me. They called me and told me that I need to rezone, and I said, for what? And I didn't know what they was talking about, anything. Now here I am, out of $350 that I really don't have to give to Meriwether County, and for what? I'm very disappointed. And the next thing I want to say, I called, I think in September or something, about our roads. And I can't remember who I talked with, but I know now I got to keep better notes. We're at 2131 J.W. Dunn Road. And that ditch is so bad, that thing going across that road is so bad, we can't hardly pull in the driveway. I talked with somebody and they said, now I know who Terrell is, he's gone. But they said, we're going to send Terrell out there. And, somebody came out there and put gravel in those ruts across that road. But at the same time, I don't know if they did it or who did it, but they piled up dirt in the ditch. There's a sewer that goes across the driveway, and there's a ditch there. Well, they piled up dirt in the ditch, so there is no ditch anymore for the water to run through. Okay? So now the sewer, here it is, almost closed totally up. And all of these ruts across this road, we still can't hardly get in the drive. At the same time I talked with someone about that, I talked with them also about the creek down the road. The bridge is a mess, and part of the road, just before you get to the creek, has fallen away. So then we don't go that way anymore when we go home. We go all the way around and come to Highway 18 and come in on the Trammell Road. And here we are, paying taxes every year. And what for? I feel like we just totally forgotten. We don't get no service. So what are we paying taxes for? I'm just really very disappointed. I have to tell you that. You seem like you're doing a beautiful job with what you're doing. But we are just forgotten. I know we are almost at the end of Meriwether County. But
There is a 3-minute limit.
okay, I'm sorry.
And we hear what you have to say there. And
I'm sure you write down the road.
I'm sorry we couldn't do better with the handling of the zoning. We have to be fair to everybody. And that's the only way we could think it would work out.
Okay.
And these things about your road, you put them in the right hands. Mr. Gay was writing as you were talking, so
Okay.
we'll get somebody to look at that.
Thank you.
And we thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else?
Thank you.
I should have known.
No, this is good.
Oh, okay.
I am happy too that as many citizens come out as they come. But at some point, and please take this in a positive way, Mr. Gay, on some of the discussion, like item 1 under the moratorium, it was just too much time spent on the discussion of that, when to me, it should have been taken care of maybe in a work session. And then people are asking me, I gotta get to work, I gotta do this. You know, I don't control this meeting, don't control mine. I think if some of the discussions was handled before you got to a commissioner's meeting, I think it would help us have sometimes shorter meetings. The other thing I want to ask, and I don't know whether that's the board asked Mr. Gay, I put so much on Mr. Gay. The wall that's around this parking,
Yes, sir.
what can you tell me that I can tell the citizens of Greenville?
No, you're
that
talking
we
about the
gonna do our
retainer
part?
wall,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, we're still working with that. We have a local company that does, that manufactures those walls. Talked to them. The design they gave us was candidly designed and it was too expensive, but
No, but I'm saying, can I just communicate with you, this is something the board don't have to get
Yes,
involved in.
no, we're about to work on letting that project. And then when we do, we're gonna have the contractors come out to site on a pre-bid meeting, and we'll have you guys there as well.
Okay, closing on a real positive note. I have, I guess, been involved with different boards, but I can honestly say, I have enjoyed this board. I think you all have done, to me, more for Meriwether County during my tenure in Meriwether County that I've seen. And that is to just commend you for it. I hope you will continue to work with the municipalities like you do, because I've enjoyed working for you, with you and for you. Virginia, I know, she's gonna have to come to a few more meetings, so.
Thank you, Mayor Glover, and the very best of the season to you. Is there anybody else that wishes to come forward? Okay.
I will say that when I give up 2 of the jobs that I now have, I have about 5 jobs that I'm back working, so that's why I'm not here.
Okay. Thank you for that comment. We are just completing public comment. We do have a need for executive session for litigation and personnel, as I just heard. And let me reach over right quick and cover this, and I'll come right back to that. Our future meetings and notices, December 25th, we've already agreed there will not be a meeting that day. I still don't want, I'm wondering why. December 24th, 25th is the close for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, our official holidays. January the 1st, 2019, closed, New Year's Day. January 19th, 2019 at 9 a.m. is our regular meeting. January 21st, 2019, we're closed for Martin Luther King Day. January 22nd, 2019 at 6 p.m. will be our regular meeting. That being said, we thank you for your presence here, and the commissioners, do I hear a motion we go into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?